Hello everybody, welcome to Friday the 13th Kill Count. These are the guys who gave me these lists, remember that? Yeah, if you watched it, it's not that good, but still. And we're going to be watching part 2. Let's do it.
Welcome to Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at the original Friday the 13th, which was released in 1980. I can tell you, the killer in the original film was not Jason, but was in fact his mother. See, Pamela Voorhees got pissed 20 years ago when camp counselors making Whoopi ignore Jason and got him drowned. So that's why she gets down to killing. And how much killing? Let's find out. The intro of the movie takes place in 1958, you know, America's golden age, when jobs were plenty and the best form of foreplay was singing church songs at a summer camp. Sure gets these two kids worked up because they wander off to play a little cabin attic grab ass. It's these two giggling lovers, Barry and Claudette, who Pamela begins her vengeance with. But hey, since Jason drowned a full year prior to this, she's probably had a lot of time to think up some innovative kills, right? Nope, Barry gets stabbed in the gut below screen for the first kill of the franchise. Kind of a lame start to a movie known for gruesome kills. Looks like he just squeezed a tomato against his belly. After that, Pamela turns on Claudette. They play catch with some boxes before the film starts to lag or something. Oh, no, that's just shitty slow motion. A freeze frame signifies Claudette's death, the second of the film. Then it pushes in on the frame and flashes to white, meaning we just watched Claudette pass into the afterlife, I guess. Great, now we're in the present where creepy old dudes give really weird line readings. You'll never come back again? Oh, shut up, Ralph. Yeah, shut up, Ralph. Not that this dude's much better. He's very obviously grabbing her ass, helping her into his truck, and I don't like the way he's looking at her there. But thankfully, all he does is give her a bunch of Crystal Lake backstory before dropping her off. Then we get to meet all the other counselors, including Kevin Bacon and his pals, who are seriously introduced with this music. I feel like one of them should be playing a milk jug. They arrive at camp and meet camp owner Steve Christie, who probably oils himself up in front of a mirror every morning. I mean, look at him. Back to Annie Phillips, the teen who got harassed in town. She gets picked up by someone who listens silently while Annie talks about how awesome she is.
But when you've had a dream as long as I have, you'll do anything.
Then Annie freaks out and does a sweet somersault from the speeding vehicle, but still winds up as the third kill of the film with a pretty decent throat slit 22 minutes in. I'm using the unrated version here, so it's a few frames longer. You're welcome. After that, we have to sit through 20 more minutes of these shitty teenagers as they go swimming, do some cooking, and kill a really good-looking prop snake. Wait, no, I'm sorry. This is 1980 and this is a no-budget movie. That's a real fucking snake. That was an animal. They even run to Ralph, who's hanging out in their pantry for some reason. Maybe he was just trying to get a look at Alice's sweet Luke Skywalker cosplay. Nailed it. Finally, someone else dies. It's Ned, the trickster or whatever character, whose charming qualities include life-threatening gags, pretending to drown just to get a kiss, and cultural appropriation.
Oh, shit.
He wanders into a cabin and gets killed off screen, but his body shows up 40 minutes in. It happens while Kevin Bacon's character Jack gets his bang on with his girlfriend Marcy. Turns out Pamela put Ned in Jack's upper bunk. Classic camp prank. Kevin Bacon's gonna see his body and be like, dude, quit cock blocking. But actually, Bacon doesn't see it, so instead of Ned's body, sexy times is cut short by a full bladder when Marcy leaves to pee. Jack takes the opportunity to smoke a joint, getting relaxed long enough for Pamela to grab his head and stick an arrow through his neck from below. It's a very iconic death, but I always laugh at the mental image of Pamela sliding her way under the bed just to be able to do this. Whatever, ignore the logistics and just enjoy this death again. Good stuff, Tom Savini. Then we get 2 straight minutes of the Marcy Standler underpants party before she joins the big list with an axe to the head. Another truly fantastic kill. Where was this kind of makeup for those first 2 kills, guys? Meanwhile, there's been a game of strip Monopoly going on between Brenda, Bill, and Alice, but it gets shut down by Mother Nature. And where was Steve? Probably oiling himself up in the other room, right? Nah, he's back in town eating pancakes or something. Stuck in a diner because it's raining, or someone is just spraying a hose back and forth on that car, but let's pretend it's raining. Despite the stormy weather, Brenda gets lured outside by a creepy voice. Yeah, that'll break your reading concentration. She wanders outside and ends up looking like a creepy wet porcelain doll on the archery range. Cut away to screen means she's probably getting killed, but we'll wait for confirmation before we add her to the kill count. Don't worry, we get an on-screen kill soon enough when Steve Christie heads back to camp and gets stabbed below screen? What? What the hell, Friday the 13th? I thought we were in for some gruesome kills. I mean, I understand the first 2, you wanted to set a false sense of security or whatever, but come on. Body Oil Steve was just asking for a gruesome kill. At this point, it's down to final girl Alice Hardy and her kinda but not really love interest Bill Brown. They separate, but they're reunited when Alice opens the door and finds Billy Boy pinned to the door with arrows.
So
I don't know if he got shot against that door or if he was killed and then pinned up to it like a list of grievances, but either way, it's a memorable kill. Then, for whatever reason, Mrs. Voorhees chucks Brenda's body through the window like a brick with a warning on it. She's got like holes in her
Seriously,
and a
what?
rope around her. I don't know. I'm honestly just distracted by the actors moving around there. It's after all this that Alice finally meets Mrs. Voorhees face to face.
Well, I'm Mrs. Voorhees.
Pamela gives the whole
I
spiel
still
about
don't know.
irresponsible camp counselors and such, and then a 10-minute chase ensues, complete with Chinatown-like slapping, extreme close-ups on Betsy Palmer's teeth, and a full-on hit to the crotch. Ouch. It all comes to a head on the beach when Alice picks up the machete, charges at Mrs. Voorhees full speed, and straight up decapitates her. It's another iconic kill in a movie with plenty of them, and the hands in the air gesturing, "Why, God, why?" are just the cherry on top.
I
After
love
that, the
that
movie
one. That's like
seems
my
finished,
favorite.
but we get one last scare in the infamous Jason boat grab, where he pops up from the lake and pulls Alice out of the boat. Turns out to be just a dream, though, so don't worry, it's not like they take that scene and formulate 11 more movies around it. I'm lying, they did. But right now we're still focused on the first movie, so let's break this shit down and do the numbers. Pamela Voorhees killed 9 people in Friday the 13th. 5 guys and 4 girls. She herself was killed by Alice, bringing the total kill count to 10,
Yeah.
evenly split among genders,
Yeah.
plus 1 poor innocent snake. At a runtime of 95 minutes, that comes out to 1 human death about every 10 minutes. I'll give the
Yeah,
Golden
that's
Chainsaw Award, which goes to the coolest kill of the movie, to the Baconator himself, Jack Burrell. Although Marcy's axe to the head was pretty cool. His death is just so iconic, and apparently it malfunctioned during their one take, so makeup assistant Tasso Stavrakis ended up having to blow the fake blood through a tube manually. That's dedication, dude. Conversely,
Wait, whoa.
Still nervous about buying a house?
a little. Thought I could
It's called that.
de-stress with some Zen
You know what?
So you don't have to worry about homeowner's insurance. Just call
That
Geico.
kill's just so stupid.
Good to know.
I'll get the dustpan.
Get to know Geico for homeowners insurance. Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the kills in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're talking about Friday the 13th Part 2, released in 1981, just a year after the original. The first sequel in the series is the film that introduces Jason Voorhees as the killer, but don't get too excited just yet. He still hasn't found his hockey mask, so he stumbles around looking like a rejected Klansman most of the time. Seriously, look at that pillowcase. Dude looks straight out of that Jonah Hill scene in Django. As you can imagine, Jason's motivation is revenge for the death of his mother, whose motivation was revenge for the death of Jason, which sounds paradoxical, but fuck it, let's get down to the kills.
Yeah. Do it.
Jason's first kill is Alice Hardy, the chick from the first film that beheaded his mom. We meet back up with her in bed as she moans through a montage of stuff from the first movie, just like wriggles back and forth dreaming about it. Sucks for her, but it's even worse for us, since this padding is a full 5 minutes long. She finally gets the hell out of bed and goes for her favorite midnight snack, rotting head of course, when Jason grabs her from behind and sticks an ice pick through her temple about 11 minutes in. Weird how at this point in my life, I've seen ice picks used more for murder than for picking ice. After her death, we see smash cut to title
This is
card.
awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Blow that shit up, guys. Then we get some opening credits and then have to wait 20 minutes for another kill, which is way too long for a Friday the 13th movie, in my opinion.
Definitely.
In the meantime, we meet future Jason victims and I guess get to know them better. Although there's not much to them. There's another horny couple, another goofball, another hot chick, and pervy tail chaser. But at least there's some diversity with a few token minorities and Mark, a dude in a wheelchair who could totally kick Jason's ass in arm wrestling. Too bad this ain't over the top, buddy. Our preordained final girl is Ginny, who drives a shitty car and gets a little bit of backstory that'll come in handy later.
Use a little of that child psychology you're majoring in.
Remember that. She's assistant to and totally bang buddies with Paul, the camp manager. None of these delightful meatbags make for Jason's second kill, though. That distinction goes to another character from the first film, Crazy Ralph. Remember the weird way he used to talk?
Yeah, that's
Never come back
again.
again. Maybe he's gotten better. Did you believe me? Nope. While he's peeping in on Paul and Ginny, Jason garrots him against a tree. Looks like you're the one who's never coming back again. Huh,
That was
Ralph?
terrible. I can do that.
After sexy
Man.
swim...
Never come back again. I love it.
times and woodsy grab ass, Officer Winslow becomes Jason's third victim nearly 45 minutes into the film. After bounding through the woods like so many majestic deer, he finds Jason's Love Shack, which is a little old place where you can get a hammer claw to the back of your head. Gotta love the guy's display of teeth here. He's already ready to be a skull. Back at the camp, Paul, Ginny, and all the unnamed and minority characters head off to the town bar, leaving only victims behind, so the kills really start to pick up. Terry, the chick who gets fashion tips from Padme in Attack of the Clones, goes for a skinny dip and gets her clothes stolen by pervert Scott. He winds up in a tree for no goddamn reason, and then becomes Jason's fourth kill after a classic machete throat slit. Ice picks and hammer claws are great, Jason, but you can't forget your fundamentals. A little bit later, Terry comes to cut him down and presumably gets killed off screen, but my rule here is to not count the kill until we see the body, so onward we go. Now we're down to 4 horny horny kids alive at the camp, and not a one of them knows how to close a window. Sadly, the next one to go is chair-bound hunk Mark as he waits for Vicky to finish, preparing herself, I guess? From an angle that doesn't make any sense, since Mark would clearly see him, Jason swings a machete into Mark's face, and now we're into the film. Kinda got it lodged in there deep, huh, Jason? Better go get it back. Oh, wait, you can't, because Mark hilariously rolls backwards down an absurd amount of stairs that, like, where did those come from? The unintentional comedy of his death is capped off by a zoom in and a white flash. Jason heads back inside to interrupt a surprisingly PG-13 sex scene, which, fun fact, is that way because the actress was underage at the time. Ew. Anyway, he walks in and gets a 2-for-1, here on known as a twofer, when he impales Jeff and Sandra together through the bed with a spear in an homage to the film A Bay of Blood. The last teen for Jason to kill off is good-natured Vicky, who spent all her time in this movie very subtly hitting on Mark.
Want to take me on? I only want your fingers.
What do you want to play for?
Position.
Oh, I'm sorry, I meant not subtly at all. Worked out their way, she was totally gonna jump his bones before he got killed. She finds Jason and wakes him up from a nap, but he's all grumpy and stabs her in the stomach. Yeah, it's below screen like the lame kills from the first movie, but at least it has the stalkery POV shots that lead into it. Ginny then returns from the bar for the big final girl showdown. Jason chases her around a bunch, she goes WWE on him, by God! And then she winds up at his love shack, where she finds a creepy shrine to Pamela Voorhees, complete with rotting head. Oh, and hey look, it's Terry's body, just kind of, laying there. No blood or marks? Is she even dead? Ginny should probably try to wake her up. Instead, Ginny uses that backstory of hers to put on Mommy's musty sweater and imitate Pamela, causing Jason to get all stupid and confused. Paul returns, and together they knock Jason down and swing a machete into his shoulder, leaving him for dead. Until he crashes through the window! Half of him is all deformed, and the other half looks like Hillbilly Jim. If you dig the way he looks, sorry, he's never gonna look like this again, so enjoy all this slow motion they give us here. A white flash takes us to the end, where Ginny's on a stretcher calling out Paul's name. Not gonna count Paul as a fake since it's unconfirmed, so let's call it there and get to the numbers. Jason kills 9 people in Friday the 13th Part 2. 5 guys and 4 girls. Same as his mama did, but since he doesn't die at the end of this one, the film's total kill count is only 9, the lowest of the series. And with its 87-minute runtime, that leaves 1 human death every 9.6 minutes. I'm gonna give the golden chainsaw kill to Mark. And I know y'all gonna say the double impalement deserves it in the comments, but it's actually pretty tame thanks to the MPAA's insistence. And going backwards down all those stairs it's just the bee's knees, guys. I love it. Lamest kill is definitely Terry, who's apparently scared to death by the cameraman. No visible wounds on her body in Jason's creepy little mama temple at the end. She's just like dead. Cool. And that's it. Friday the 13th Part 2, released in 1981, actually less than a full year after the original. Next week we'll be looking at Friday the 13th Part 3, released in 3D, but not the good 3D that we have today.